God Valley wasn't just a battle, it was the absolute peak of One Piece power scaling. We are talking about an island where legends, holy knights, and literal gods collided to wipe each other out. The power levels here were absolutely illegal. Today, we are ranking the top 16 strongest characters present at the incident, from the disappointing rookies to the monsters that defy logic. Let's get into it. Starting us off at rank 16, we have the man, the myth, the greedy legend, Captain John. We first heard about this guy in Thriller Bark, known famously for his lost treasure. But did you know he actually possessed the magnetism devil fruit? Yeah, the exact same power Eustace Kid uses. But Captain John is proof that having a strong power doesn't make you a top tier. Instead of fighting, this guy was too busy trying to loot treasure during the battle. Because of that distraction, he got completely blindsided. His aura hit rock bottom instantly. He wasted a powerful ability and got taken out by, well, the next guy on our list. At rank 15, we have the man who defeated Captain John, Gang Zui. This is a member of the Rocks Pirates who possesses the Bomb fruit. Yes, the same power Mr. Five had. This allows him to turn any part of his body into a bomb, including, and I am not joking, his nose boogers. It sounds ridiculous, but he used those explosive flickers to take down Captain John. Oda really loves giving terrifying powers to the weirdest characters. Just imagine if someone with actual combat skills had this fruit. But for now, Gang Zui sits here simply because he caught John. Moving up to rank 14. Let's talk about a holy knight, Saint Somos. The holy knights were introduced as these absolute powerhouses, but Somos was a bit of a letdown. He has the Thorn Devil Fruit that lets him create and manipulate deadly spikes, but his real strength comes from his status. Like the other elders, he possesses a form of regeneration. That is the only reason he is ranked this high. If you don't have a way to bypass that healing, you can't beat him. However, we saw Silver's Rayleigh, the Dark King himself, humble this man with a single sword slash. Somos relies too much on his immortality and lacks the raw combat stats to hang with the true legends. At 13, we have the Golden Lion Shiki. This man is a future rival to the Pirate King, but at God Valley, he wasn't quite at his peak yet. He has the Float fruit, allowing him to fly and manipulate gravity on objects he touches. He is definitely one of the top 4 members of the Rocks crew. We know he defeated Gang Zui off-screen, proving he is levels above the fodder. But compared to the absolute monsters we are about to see, Shiki was still growing into his legend. Oh, and real quick, if you're enjoying this deep dive into the God Valley hierarchy, hit that subscribe button and drop a like. It helps the channel way more than you think. And honestly, we need to get the word out before the Holy Knight fanboys come for my head in the comments. Anyway, let's get back to the monsters. At 12, we have the future strongest creature, Kaido. Now, you might be thinking, why is Kaido so low? You have to remember, at God Valley, Kaido was essentially a rookie. He hadn't even eaten his devil fruit when the battle started. He spent half the battle begging Big Mom for a fruit like a kid asking for candy. But once he ate the Azure Dragon fruit, his potential skyrocketed. We even saw him use a blast breath on Emu. His durability was impressive even back then, but he lacked the advanced Conqueror's hockey mastery to be a true top tier. He was a tank, but an inexperienced one. Just edging him out at 11 is Saint Gumko, the Blade of God. This holy knight possesses the Arrow's power, allowing her to control people with arrows. We actually know from future events in Elbaf that she is strong enough to defeat the Straw Hats effortlessly. Since the Holy Knights don't seem to age or weaken due to Emu's power, her strength at God Valley is the same as her strength in the future. The reason she ranks above Kaido is simple: regeneration. Rookie Kaido simply did not have the tools or the hockey mastery to permanently put her down. She outlasts him every time. At number 10, we have the champion of God Valley, Figureland Garling. Man, was this guy a disappointment. Oda introduced him as this legendary figure, the father of Shanks, the leader of the Holy Knights. We expected him to be a god-tier fighter, but what happened? He got defeated off-screen by Rox DX. Now, to be fair, losing to Rox isn't shameless. Rox was a monster, but Garling didn't show us anything that justified the massive hype he had. He has the standard Holy Knight regeneration, which makes him nearly impossible to kill for normal pirates, but his offensive output didn't seem to match his reputation. He's strong, no doubt. You don't lead the Holy Knights by being weak, but compared to the heavy hitters higher on the list, He's just a gatekeeper to the single digits. Speaking of dominating the story, I actually ranked the strongest character from every single arc. There's an info card popping up right now if you want to check that out after this video. At number 9, we have Saint Saturn. Unlike Garling, Saturn actually showed us why the 5 elders are fearsome. He transforms into the Ushi Oni, or Giku, a terrifying spider-human hybrid. His abilities are a nightmare. He can launch poison bombs that are strong enough to damage other regenerated elders. We saw him use an invisible force to blow people's heads off just by looking at them. He also has the highest form of regeneration we have seen. He can regrow limbs in seconds. But the biggest proof of his strength is when Imu descended on God Valley, Imu chose Saturn as a vessel to possess. That implies that out of all the Holy Knights and Elders present, Saturn's body was the most suitable and powerful container for the King of the World. He's dangerous, versatile, and nearly non-killable. He solidly takes the number 9 spot. That was just a warm-up. If you thought these guys were monsters, you are not ready for part 2. We are talking about Roger, Rox, and Imu. Characters who can erase islands just by breathing. The power scaling is about to completely break. The part 2 is dropping soon, and the number 1 spot changes everything we know about One Piece. Subscribe to FortuNeko and hit the bell icon so you get notified the second part 2 goes live. You do not want to miss the top of this list. Catch you in the next one.